And that was for me a life that I was living as if I was half dead.
Mm. That's the challenge, isn't it? That we know we've repeated that day over and over and over and over again. So there's some certainty with that. And yet with it is if we know we've got more purpose, more value to give, more to explore, and yet we don't explore it, then I completely agree with you. It is that feeling of the soul's death. And the one thing I remember when and I was so proud of my career and how far I'd got, and put everything I've got into it. I'd worked so hard. All my goals were around my work. All my friendships were people that I worked with. My work was my life. It was my priority. It was what I dreamt of morning, noon, and night. But there was still a part of me that thought of wanting to be on TV, wanting to be on the radio, wanting to write a book, wanting to work with people, wanting to be a speaker. And yet my current reality feared all of those things. But to abandon them felt like abandoning myself, even though I didn't know what I'd write a book about, even though I didn't know what I'd speak about on stage, even though I've got no idea what purpose I'd be on the TV for or the radio. I still had these glimpses, these almost threads connecting with that aspect of me in the future. But the fear was massive and the doubt was massive. And it took one single question to unlock what would it look like. And once I'd glimpsed it, to abandon it, ignore it, suppress it, it felt like I was, what's the word? Well, doing all of those things to myself, which of course it is, chickening out, just completely chickening out and thinking, oh, that requires so much consciousness. Because when you shift from your career or a relationship or a friendship or a home or a way of living, it requires our mind to be awake, alert, and it's tiring to be that awake, isn't it? And taking that leap to go for it takes courage, but taking that courage is much better than living with the awareness that we've abandoned ourselves, with the awareness that inside something of us is slowly dying because it's not being fed or brought to the light. It's a step. I love the way that you phrase it. It's a step that you can't afford not to take, because we're here to live, aren't we? And the slow death of the soul isn't living.